dream again. To see the end, we dream again.
All right, welcome everybody as we are coming to you live from none other than Homestead, Miami. These hot summer nights, and boy, oh boy, do we have a show for you tonight. The Wallbangers Truck Racing Series coming to you live right now in their final race. I mean, the final race to lock themselves in to the Final Four. We are underway at qualifying. My name is Ryan Ezel, as my friends like to call me Sleezel. I don't know where that comes from. But as always, my cohort in crime, Kevin Ruff. How you doing, my brother?
Doing good, buddy. Doing good. As always, excited to be here with you, ready to broadcast this race and see who's going to punch themselves into the championship four.
That's right. Well, we've got an exciting race tonight. We have a small field, as we always do. This is an open setup league with one fast repair, limited fuel, stage brakes, and 100% fuel, limited tires, stage brakes, and we have two drivers locked in. We have the one truck that you see here on your screen right now, Michael Sheffield, and that Sheffield graphics inspired truck getting a little loose coming out of the corner. We'll come back to him because I have a lot to talk about when it comes to Homestead and Michael Sheffield. By the way, he's locked himself into the final table. The other driver that is not here tonight due to a personal conflict with a job, which is no fun. But, man, it's Craig Burns. He was the first one to lock himself in. So we have 6 drivers tonight, Kevin, that are trying to lock themselves into the final 2 spots. It's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. You know, one of the favorites we have that are the 6 drivers remaining is the guy you're watching right now, Chad B. Singer in that 23 BSR Toyota Tundra. Mr. Consistency, we've talked about it all season long, the Mark Martin of the league. This guy right here, let's just throw it up and let everybody know who he is and what he's about. 47 years old from Glyle, Michigan. This man has a setup. He's in the middle of a move. Him and his family literally just moved over this weekend. Got his rig set up just in time to get ready for the race tonight. You'll also see the 13 of Jerry Culver here laying down a lap here at qualifying. But, Kevin, what do you think about tonight, brother?
It's a driver's track.
Ooh, boy, you ain't lying.
There's 3 different grooves you could really run on this. You run that bottom line too long, I think you burn up the tires. But, man, there's gonna be some drivers tonight that are gonna do the Tyler Reddick or the Kyle Larson, riding up against the wall. But this is a really cool track. You could literally get a run anywhere on this track, and it's just going to be really interesting. The biggest thing is tires are going to burn off pretty quickly. So on the restarts, you're going to see some really good racing.
Well, sure you are. It's going to be interesting. We have, let's take a look at the track notes as we see that looks like everybody has qualified up to this point. Let's see. We have stage breaks tonight at lap 30 and lap 60 for a total of 134 laps. Night race, 4 total sets of tires. And tonight, it's all going to be about tire management. These drivers talked about all week long that Homestead with this new aero package, the new tire model, the new damage model. iRacing has done a phenomenal job of making the immersion of the driving of a stock car on an oval track so realistic. These guys are going to be having to manage 4 total sets of tires. That is about 30 or so laps per set. And after about 10 laps, you're struggling. You're worried about management. So we're going to have to see how this whole thing plays out. It may be that these guys do fine, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So, Kevin, tell me what your thoughts are. Let's see if we can't real quick. If I know what I'm doing here, let's take a look at the points if we can. Currently, all right, I'm having an issue. So right now we have 2 drivers that are locked in. That is Michael Sheffield and Craig Burns. We have 6 drivers trying to fight their way in, which that right there is going to be the problem that these guys that are locked in, they have nothing to lose, right? They're done. They're golden. The ones that are trying to fight their way in are going to be the ones that have everything to lose. So tell me what your keys to the race are tonight.
Well, be smart on your tires. But on the restarts, I mean, it's hard to save and be aggressive at the same time. But while you have the grip, try to take advantage of it and, go out there and win. That's the biggest thing tonight is someone's going to make it to the championship 4. And the easiest way to do it is by winning it.
You're damn right, man. It's all about the win. Well, before we get started in this and crown our pole sitter for tonight, Trevor Massetti, the California kid, let's do the most honorable thing that we can. Evolution Racing League's Wallbangers, Truck Series Racing, and Evolution Racing Network is honor our great country, the United States of America, by our national anthem. So if you would, please rise, remove your covers, cover your heart, and stand in the honor of our great country.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for honoring our great country. Let's take a look at some of the race info, if we can, Kevin, of what this track is like. This is Homestead, Miami. Super hot, super humid all the time. 77 degrees here. This is a typical intermediate 1.5-mile track by size, but not by the driving style. It is a tire eater. This is the Atlanta of the Southeast, right? It is, man, it's just tires 1 lap to 5 laps to 9 laps. It makes a huge difference. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys manage that. Do they go for the stage points? Do they go for the win? I think it's the last race. If you take a look, we only have 1 race left at ISM in Phoenix when these drivers go for the championship. So you have 6 drivers fighting for the chance to make their way to the Final 4, the championship race. So it's not about stage points tonight, Kevin. It's all about the win, because that's the only way, like you said, to guarantee yourself a seat at the table.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. the real big battle that we're going to be watching tonight is going to be Chad Biesinger and Brian Fine. Currently, right now, Brian Fine is sitting there 5th place in points and 7 points out. So Brian Fine really needs to just finish ahead of Biesinger if he can't win it. That's the biggest thing right now. It's going to be a really close battle right there, and that's what I've got my eyes on for tonight going into the race.
Yeah, I agree with you, bud. I think let's take a look at how these guys. Oh, yeah. So you see 4 of your playoff drivers are locked into the top 8. So let's see if we can't get the Cali Kid himself, Trevor Massetti, pulled up here into the booth, and let's have a little chit chat with him if we can. See if I can interrupt his team radio real quick. All right. Yo, Cali Kid, Trevor Massetti, Ryan and Kevin in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well. I ain't going to lie. Kevin will definitely agree with me on this just because he has to. He's going to. We expected you to be locked into this point, but you're not. So you're coming to the final race. You're in a great position points-wise. But you have to pretty much win to secure your way in because God knows what can happen with stages, 134 laps. Tell me, how's the truck feeling? What do you think is the keys to winning tonight?
Truck feels great. Been working on it all week, so hopefully that pays off. But the keys are just going to be saving tires. I have a problem with burning up tires normally, so if I can figure out a way to pace myself here in these couple beginning laps and then just have the tire for the end of the stages and the end of the race, I think I'll be all right. But I think that's what it's going to come down to is just who can keep their foot off the gas for the most amount of time.
Well, that's good. Well, brother, good luck tonight. We're going to put you back with your team. Hopefully we'll be talking to you, and I have a feeling we probably will. Before the end of this race, good luck and go get you a dub.
Yes, sir, I will.
All right. That was Trevor Massetti. And let's take a look, if we can, real quick about this crew. We've got Trevor Massetti, Chad Biesinger lined up side by side. Second row, Jeff Carson, Brian Fine. Third row, Chris Claude, Michael Sheffield. And rounding out the back, Jerry Culver to start this thing off. So, Kevin, take us to the green because that truck is on pit road. Let's go.
Trevor Massetti's going to take it to the green flag. Chad Biesinger's going to be on the outside. Biesinger's going to try to get a little bit of a run on the outside, but Massetti's going to take it into turn 1, getting the advantage in the corner.
Yes, he is. I think he's being a little modest. I think Trevor Massetti is really good at doing that because he's like, I have a tendency to eat my stuff up, but he's always up front, Kevin. The kid is really got an incredible talent when it comes to sim racing. I say that. Do you see how Lucy just got coming out of that corner out of 4 there, coming down this long straightaway? He is going to be a contender all night long. The big thing at any of these tracks, especially this late in the series, is about survival. You have to be there at the end to win. You can't do it with a banged up truck and trying to get up there and door somebody every other lap. It's just, it can't be done. So these guys are really going to have to be methodical. I don't think with a field this size, you're going to see a lot of cautions. Could be wrong, but I really don't think you're going to see a ton of them. But I think you're going to see people trying different strategies. What do you say?
Definitely going to be different strategies. That's what's so great about this track. It's a driver's track. There's going to be 33% drivers running up against the wall, 33% running the middle line, and 33% running the low line. That's the way I look at it. So just a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of give and take as you see Brian Fine get a little loose right there. Just that right there, just shows that you could have so much momentum going for you, and you can just lose it all in one turn, just getting a little slip up like that.
Yeah, it doesn't take much at a track like Homestead. Throughout the time, they have done a
It's a driver's track. There's
phenomenal job of updating the actual physics to these trucks. and that goes to say it with the A class, B class, C class, and ARCA. They've done a phenomenal job of updating these guys. But I'm really concerned about some of the guys that get too eager too early. So they're going to get out there, and you have a choice of driving line. Now, everybody in this league and throughout multiple leagues has always looked when they say, hey, where are we going this week? And we say Homestead. Who's the one driver they always say, ah, crap, is he running in it? Who'd they say?
I mean, Trevor Massetti definitely is one. Sheffield is another because Sheffield could save tires like nobody else.
That's right. Sheffield is, I don't know what it is about this track, but he just understands it. He has educated himself every update, every model. It doesn't matter. He gets out there and he figures out where's the advantage. You know, you see Sheffield working his way up to 5th place right now, but he was the only driver to consecutively be running that low line at the start of this run when everybody else is running the wall, that Kyle Larson line. So do you think he knows something that other drivers may not?
I think he knows that right now the preferred line is going to be the bottom, but once there's enough rubber put down on the track, I think the top line's going to get a little bit better, and that's why he's just progressing through like he is right now. I mean, it just goes to show right now he's got much better control over his truck right now on the bottom line versus Brian Fine, who's doing the Kyle Larson line. And he just keeps just slipping up, you know, here and there. He gets a huge run out of the corner, but if you're slipping up when you run that high line, you're ruining the whole purpose because you're not getting a run.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And they talked about it. We talked to several of the drivers pre-race, and we asked them, what do you think the key to win tonight is? And they said it's tire management. Because we'll sit here and watch this. You know, the fastest lap so far out of these first 9 laps has been Trevor Massetti with a 33.117. Now, that's an incredible lap for a race setting. Now, nobody's going to go out there and put down a 32.5 in a race setting because you're going to be burning everything up. That's a qualifying type lap. But there's drivers already running a 33.7, so 0.6, more than half a second slower in 8 laps. That right there is the defining difference, and it is so much about throttle control. You don't use a lot of brakes here at Homestead, but your turn-in points from the time you go to that outside wall and whatever line you choose to run, whether it's the low, the middle, or the high line, it is going to be about where you turn in, when you get back into the throttle, and how much throttle do you take, because this track is going to be so much about management of your equipment, your tires, your brakes, your fuel. So, you know, we got 30 laps in this first run, 30 laps in the second stage, and then that third and final stage is 84 laps. If my math is correct, let's see, 60, I'm sorry, 74 laps. So a fuel run here, Kevin, is about 50 or so laps. So they're going to have to pit under green if this thing went green the entire time. You have at least one guaranteed green flag pit stop in that third and final stage. And just like we saw last week and the week before, that's the money stop. That's where all the training and everything that you put into the entire season comes into play. Because if your guys can get you out with the minimal amount of time from the time you get on the brakes to get off the track, get down pit road, hit your stop, and get back out of pit road and onto the track, there can be several seconds lost, can there not?
Absolutely. Definitely. You really want to get a 10 out of 10 on your pit stops for sure, but the one that really counts is that one in stage 3. Trevor Massetti, who's dominating right now, he can mess up on a pit stop right now, at the end of stage 1, and it won't hurt him as bad. But stage 3, when it's a green flag pit stop, more than likely, oh my God, that could kill your momentum completely.
You ain't lying. And here's the reality of it, is these guys have worked all season about trying to maximize points, trying to figure out how do I get the most points I can to secure myself later on into the playoffs. So tonight it's not about that. So next week we go to Phoenix for the championship race, the Wallbangers Truck Series, right? The top 4 drivers that are locked into the championship, it's whoever finishes in front of the other guys. Well, tonight, you can say that one driver is going to be locked in by points. That's guaranteed. One driver will make it in by points. If one of these 6 drivers, which I'm almost guaranteed that one of those 6 drivers is going to win, that means one guy will be in by points. So you have to come into this race with almost 2 strategies, Kevin. One has to be like Trevor Massetti in the 3 truck that we're seeing here on the screen. I have a fast truck. I know how to do this. I've put tons of laps in practice. I'm going to go for the win. But you get somebody, let's say, like, I don't know, Brian Fine. Let's take a look at Brian Fine here. Some of these guys that are, Chad Biesinger is another example, but some of these guys that are not locked in right now and they're not seeing themselves progress to the front, or they don't like this track, or they don't have a good understanding that others do, they have to go out there and maximize on the stage points to make sure that they can pad and get, points for leading a lap. Another 3 points for leading the most stage points at each and every stage. So that way they can be that 4th and final driver to lock themselves into the final 4. Now, I will go ahead and address the elephant in the room. And you know what, Kevin, have you ever understood where the hell that phrase came from, the elephant in the room? I get it that it's like a big overtowering shadow, but there ain't no way in hell. I live in Oklahoma. There ain't no way in hell an elephant could fit in my room. How about you? Yeah?
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So where in the hell does this phrase elephant in the room come from? How about just say the awkward silence, or the dying tension that can be cut with a knife? Or is that too descriptive? Hell, I don't know. Well, you guys know I'm Sleazel, and I've got Mr. Goat here to my left, Kevin, if you will. And we're just going to try to make this as fun and casual as we can. Now, we're sitting here watching a pretty good battle with Chad Biesinger and Jeff Carson. Jeff Carson has already been knocked out of the playoffs, but guess what? Chad Biesinger is not. Kevin, let me ask you a question. You're in a position like this, and you got somebody rubbing all over your bumper, and you're in a position like Chad is. I cannot afford to have one slip up. Do I just let the guy go by? Or do I continue to try to push it? Maybe burn up my stuff when I shouldn't. Is it early enough in the race to be able to do that? Or what's the strategy? What would you do?
With the stage reset right now, where the field sets back up at the end of each stage, let him go, man. Don't take any chances. And Jeff's got a great truck right now. When we see him, he's blinking a little bit, but when we see him,
well,
that's
he's
a circle
working
effect.
off that Hughes satellite as we were watching go to the inside right now, Chad Biesinger. I think he's working off of his iPhone 3GS hotspot. He is doing a great job. I think he may be driving with his iPhone as his controller as well. I'm just giving Jeff crap. You guys may think that we give some of these drivers a hard time or favor other drivers, but I tell you what, we are one huge family here at Evolution Racing Leagues. Not only we broadcast this league, but we hang out several times a week. We are there for each other when we have family emergencies, when crisis takes place. We put on charity events. That's just how we roll here. So don't think that we're taking a dig at these guys. They're all like family. We played poker last night till the wee hours of the morning online, just having some fun. But Jeff knows that for whatever reason, he spends a lot of money on internet, but he cannot figure out how to get internet to his house because it's coming to it. He just can't figure out how to get it to his computer. Kevin might have to fly you out from Indiana and have you hook his stuff up.
Yeah, I would say, Jeff is a super, super nice guy, like you said. Enjoy racing with him
Love
week in and
hanging
week
out with
out.
Jeff.
but he kicks my ass every time we play poker. So if we went to Vegas, he'd be the one that'd be playing the bets and odds, and I'd just be sitting there sipping on a beer, just watching him do his thing.
Oh yeah, you ain't lying. Speaking of why I watch these guys go around, I want to know. Did you happen to see the Talladega Xfinity, or not the Xfinity? I'm sorry, the ARCA Talladega race today?
I did. That was one of the best restrictor plate ARCA races I've seen in the past couple
Did you
years.
see that wreck? And I'll have I'm a racing fan through and through. I've been following stock car racing, dirt racing my whole life. Kind of obsessed with it. My 6-year-old son races outlaw sprint karts. So this racing is in our blood. But I cannot remember this driver's name. He's not a mainstream name that people are used to hearing. He hit the wall so hard and then spun down into the infield. But for whatever reason, his car caught on fire in both the front and the rear. And usually you see the fire suppression systems kick on really fast in all the stock cars, especially the top 4 series. Just as a safety precaution is required, it's mandatory, right? This thing went up in a gulf of flames, and the AMR safety team got there as quick as they could, got him out of the car, laid him down. It looked like he was going to get up and walk away. Come to find out that he is on a respirator for the next 48 hours as they tend to his burns. This man took one hell of a hit, and that car was engulfed in flames, and it reminded me of the F1 wreck that we saw just a little over a month ago. These guys go through hell and back, and you would never know it, but our thoughts and prayers are out to him and his family, because that's got to be a scary event that they go through. And the good thing about it is, here at these guys on iRacing, is that's the one thing they don't have to worry about. They don't have to worry about the true cost of damaging a vehicle or a injury that can take place in an incident. So we're very thankful that we have an avenue to be able to come do this. And our thoughts and prayers are that driver in the ARCA series that is going to be battling some injuries going forward.
Yeah, the driver's name's Derek Lancaster.
That's right.
Really, unfortunate situation. I mean, we're thankful that, he's still here with us today.
Sure.
Because let's be honest, the other option of that is not what we want. Yeah, I'm just sitting here watching the replay right now, and I mean, that car just engulfed in flames so freaking fast, and just glad that he got out of the car safely, and hopefully he'll be out of the hospital soon. So, but besides that was one of the best restricted plate races I've seen.
Man, it was a killer race.
Really good race.
And we're sitting here watching a great race unfold right here in front of us. But one thing that we need to go back and take a look at, last time we talked, the one truck, Michael Sheffield, was back in 5th place and kind of struggling to stay in there. Look where he's at. He's made his way past Chad Biesinger, past Jeff Carson, past Jerry Colbert, all the way up to 2nd place. And we are just now getting ready to come to the line where the pits will close with 2 to go in stage 1. I think this guy right here, going into the race, this is my pick. I love that graffiti-inspired Sheffield Graphics paint job that he has chosen. It's incredible. This guy knows this track. I've been racing with Sheffield for, quite a while, a year and a half now. And there are certain tracks that he is very confident of. They're far and few between because he's a very shy guy. But this is one track that when we come to, if he doesn't get wrapped up in somebody else's mistake, you better watch out.
Yeah, Sheffield is a really good driver. I go to him for pointers and stuff like that. He's just a really good experienced sim racer. I was looking for pedals a month and a half ago, and I was on the stock G29s, and he told me to go with those Husenfeld sprint pedals, and he just gave me some really good advice on them. From that point on, and he's definitely a good coach. He's not just a great racer; he's a good coach.
That's right. And as we are watching the Cali Kid himself, Trevor Massetti, the son of Brian and Christy Massetti out of California, take the checkered flag for Stage 1 here at Homestead at the Wallbangers Truck Series playoffs. And I think he dominated that thing. He started on the pole. He led every lap. So the Cali Kid himself has come home with a stage win. And let's take a look, if we can, real quick, at how that top 7 looked coming across the line. Man, these guys have done a phenomenal job tonight. And look, I know some of the viewers out there, here's the elephant in the room I want to talk about, is we got sidetracked. Man, I am so bad about getting sidetracked, Kevin. I was talking about the elephant in the room. I forgot the whole reason I brought the damn phrase up. The elephant in the room is we have no drivers here tonight. Well, Steve had a family event that he had to go take care of and had to drive 3 hours away, was unable to take his rig with him. Greg Burns, the boss, called him in and said, boy, I need my best guy on this job, and he had to go out of town. We've got a few other drivers, the exact same scenario, so that's why we have a small field. But I guarantee you what, boys, we are not one of those broadcast companies that's going to go, you don't have enough drivers, we're not going to broadcast you. Yeah, I could care if there's 3 drivers out here, man. I just love enjoying hanging out with my boy Kevin and watching some drivers go take the track. I'll call a race with 2 drivers, with 3 drivers. I don't care. As we see the Cali Kid, Michael Sheffield, Jeff Carson, Chad B. Singer, Jerry Coble, Brian Fine, and Chris Claude all come to pit road. See if we see anything out of the norm. I think with 4 sets of tires, there is nobody that's not going to take tires. I mean, there could be, but I highly doubt it. What do you think?
Definitely everyone's going to take tires. This small of a field, I don't see them gambling unless there's like 2 to go or something and you're just trying to get out front of everybody. You take 2 tires, something like that if it comes down to that. But
let's see if we can't get I'm sorry to cut you off there, Kevin. I want to see we can't get our stage 1 winner down here with a word real quick. Hey, Trevor Massetti, the Cali Kid. Ryan and Kevin in the booth. You got a copy?
Absolutely, I do.
Oh, well, it's absolutely beautiful that you went out there and did exactly what you said you were going to do. Because I clearly heard you say in that poll winner interview, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to dominate, I'm going to kick everybody's butt, and nobody else is going to have a chance at this. I'm Trevor Massetti, and I own Homestead. That's what you said, right?
I don't know about own Homestead, but yeah I mean, basically.
Man, you made it look easy. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'll give a little inside info that maybe your team or your manager, your crew chief, or your spotter isn't telling you. That one truck is coming for you. He started near the back of the pack and was hunting you down there at the end, coming across the line in second, and he'll be starting on your outside. What do you think about your chances for second stage? What's your theory here? Do you go out for the win of the stages, or are you trying to go for the long game?
Well, first of all, I would say that the number 1 truck is the one that owns Homestead, if we're going off of that. And secondly, I think more stage points I can get, the better off I'll be if I, God forbid, something do happen in the last couple of laps and I get taken out of it. So I think I'm just going to go for stage points and try and build up a cushion and hope for the best for the end.
Well, we're going to help you out here. Just keep this in mind, Trevor. You got a nice, comfortable points cushion coming into the race. 1 driver is getting in by points. 1 driver is getting in by points. So, 1 is probably going to win the race. Now, if it's not Michael Sheffield, since Craig Burns isn't here tonight, if Michael Sheffield wins the race, then 2 drivers are getting in by points. So, I think the way you're looking at this is absolutely perfect because points are going to matter at the end of the day. So Man, I just want to congratulate you. Me and Kevin both sitting there watching you. You're rock solid here. Get out there, enjoy yourself, but more importantly, rack up those points for the next stage. And I hope that we're talking to you at the end of this one. And good luck, brother.
Sounds good, boys. Thank you.
All right. That was Trevor Massetti, the number 3 Cali Kid, walking away with not only the pole, but the stage 1 victory. And we got to give a shout out because our boy last week was so excited to talk to us. Brian Massetti, I hope you're listening. Me and Kevin both love the fact that you get out there and watch us. So hope you're enjoying the show. We'll try to make it interesting as we are watching the iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck dip down to pit road. And stage 2 is underway because we are back under green. The 3 truck of Trevor Massetti and the 1 truck and the 9 truck of Jeff Carson are having a drag race down that long front straightaway of Homestead Speedway. Now, Trevor knows he is the controlling car when it comes to getting this thing kicked off. He knows exactly when and where to hit that throttle. And look at the gap he is putting on the field. And this is not like a super speedway track where a big gap hurts you. You can literally get out in front of the field and take off. And it's going to be so much about muscle memory. Being very methodical and just hitting your marks lap after lap after lap. Because one bad corner or one bad set of corners can really throw you off, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely for sure. But one driver, we talked about him a little bit, but not the way he's racing tonight. But that Jeff Carson, man, he's got a hell of a truck tonight. I mean,
Yes, he does.
I gotta give him the plug when I can. He's got a really good truck tonight. He's showing it.
Wow! I don't mean
Jerry,
to cut you off, but
oh man!
and he is stuck in the wall, brother. Wow, I think him and the 10 of Chris Claude had a little bit of contact, and it's so easy to do on these intermediate tracks, these larger tracks, that if a little bit of contact is made that disrupts the balance of the truck, it could send you just into a different dimension. Let's see if we can't, Kevin, go take a look at how this happened. Oh no, Jerry just got loose. He never made any contact. And let's see if we can't go back. One more time.
I think Chris Claude barely missed that. I don't think he hit him.
Yeah, he did. And
that is
wow.
amazing.
You know what though? Is Brian fine? Let's go one more time. Watch Brian Fine come out of the corner. Jerry gets loose and comes down and just makes a little bit of impact with the 98. And the 98 was able to keep his truck going straight, and it just sent Jerry into that inside wall, and he makes hard contact with that inside wall. So more than likely, he'll have to use that one fast repair that Wallbangers Truck Series allows the drivers. And for those that are listening and want to know, you keep saying fast repair. What is a fast repair? Well, a fast repair is 8 extra crewmen. They have 7 that come over the wall on a normal pit cycle. Well, they have 8 extra ones. Just one time a race, just once, they get to have 8 extra crewmen come across the wall with all the tools they can carry and get that truck fixed back up. So that's essentially what a fast repair is. Now, Jerry's going to have to use with that because that was some hard impact on that inside wall, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunate for him, The only thing that I could say positively for him right at this point, his picture he's got on here, it shows him. I mean, he's got the sexiest picture out of all the drivers on here. So
and who is that?
Kind of Jerry.
Okay, well, let's just take a look at that if we can. Look at that sexiness. So Jerry went from one of the probably most GQ pictures with a set of glasses. I'm blind as a bat, so I've been trying to find the glasses he used to have, to this guy. Now, Kevin, I'll buy the next round if you can tell me what show is that character from.
Oh, yeah, you can't ask me that because I
Come
have no
on.
idea. I have no idea.
Come on. So he carries a boombox. He's stuck in the 80s. He was an action figure.
Nope.
Come on. Are you serious?
I'm a young one, man.
Oh, these young ones. All right, let's do this. Anybody in the comments on YouTube or Facebook on Evolution Racing Network, I've got it pulled up. Oh, I'm watching. I want to know, who is the character that you're seeing on the screen right now and what movie is he from? First one to do it is going to get a prize from Evolution Racing Network. Once they go back to green, cars are off the table. But you have until then. Man, oh man, oh man, this is going to get interesting. That puts Jerry Colbert 2 laps down. And I'm still trying to figure out how, Kevin. Because he obviously used a fast repair because that truck is looking good. But for whatever reason, iRacing is scoring him 2 laps down. I'm not sure why.
He had to get towed.
Well, you're probably right. That's right, because he got stuck in that wall good. Well, you see the lights are out in the Chevy Silverado iRacing pace truck, which means we're about to go back racing, boys and girls. Now, we're on lap 42, so this is going to be about a 17, 18 lap sprint to the finish of stage 2. And that really, folks, is where it counts. Stage 3 is for all the marbles. Now, Jeff Carson, Chad Biesinger, Michael Sheffield, and Trevor Massetti, of course, have all racked up some great stage 1 points. But let's just see how this thing plays out when it comes to stage 3. We'll do that. You see, you've got everybody re-racked and stacked and ready to go. The lights are out, the iRacing Chevy Silverado pace truck, and you're going to see that bad boy dip down to pit road here any second now, and we're going to be back racing and going green. Man, watch out for that one truck, but I'm telling you, somebody that's hungry for a win, that 23 of BSR Toyota Tundra, Chad Biesinger. And we're off. Trevor Massetti gets a hell of a jump. And he said, see ya, boys. I'm out of here. I got places to go and people to see, including Victory Lane. But Jeff Carson got a heck of a jump on the one of Michael Sheffield. He said, hey, youngster, come back here. I ain't done with you yet. You may have locked yourself in so far and doing well tonight, but I got something to prove as well in the Wild West Carrier Toyota Tundra 9 truck of Jeff Carson. And you can see what's really cool to watch at a track like Homestead. It's very much like Kansas and now Charlotte, the way it's become. Multiple racing lines, Calvin. And it depends on what line you're running is the comfort factor. Because a lot of times at the end of that run, your tire wear and the wear on your equipment is going to be very similar. But it's more of a driving preference, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And look at Jeff Carson. Huge run on that outside line. He's taking it to town. He's going to try to get the run. He's going to get the run, and he's going to take the lead.
Yeah. And, you know, this is a perfect example. I mean, a perfect example of how this thing will play out. Jeff probably used up a little more of his truck than he really wanted to by doing that move. But, man, did he get a run. So, question is, in stage 2 with, 15 laps to go and to complete this stage, again, Jeff Carson ain't battling for a seat at the table. He's like, look, I already got knocked out of the playoffs, but by God, I can pad my stats by getting a victory tonight. So that's exactly what he's looking at. And he probably learned a lot by following Trevor Massetti throughout that first stage. And Jeff Carson's making it look easy. And right behind Trevor Massetti, though, that one truck of Michael Sheffield, You ever seen the movie Jaws? I know you're a youngster, Calvin, and I know Brian Massetti knows what I'm talking about. You ever seen the movie Jaws?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? You have?
Yes, I have seen that.
Okay. Does he not look like Jaws, just sitting back there patiently waiting, stalking his prey, waiting
Oh,
for
yeah.
the right time to pounce? And
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's funny because we'll be in races and all of a sudden either Sheffield or David Edwards or Matt Upbrook or GT or Zuri, somebody will key up on the radio when they're behind me every time I go, dun, dun, because you know
Sound-
they're about to kill me.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
These guys are making it look fun. I want to go back. Let's take a look at the 13 truck of Jared Culver and see how he has rebounded. He is kind of coming up and covering the tail of the field there. He is, let's see, a little bit off pace. And he's about a half a straightaway back from the leader. I think he's playing it safe, Kevin, to be honest. He's got a clean truck. His truck's fully repaired. It's back like it's brand new. He had that full team come over the wall and get that thing ready. The only question is, did he take a brand new set of Goodyears and 2 cans Sunoco fuel? I think he may have saved those tires because they are limited tonight. May have saved that set of shoes for later in the race, and that may be why he's a little off pace, because when you do what he did and slide and lock the brakes up, you flat spot the tires, which in turn will always make it a little more difficult to drive a vehicle.
Yes. Flat spotting on tires definitely hurts.
And while we were talking, Kevin, holy crap, Jeff Carson, he's getting a bigger lead against Trevor Massetti. You look at him, he has got almost a half a second now on him. You know, Trevor was right on his bumper, but it doesn't look like he's ready to let go anytime soon.
I think he found out we were talking smack about his internet.
Yeah, I think he's like, look, y'all can talk all the smack you want. I'm going to play on my 3GS. I'll take it way back. Let's see if got a couple people commenting in the comments here. Who remembers the Motorola StarTAC? Y'all can tell me quick description of what that phone looked like. We could be friends. I'll send you a friend request. How about that? Do you know what a Motorola StarTAC is, Kevin?
No, I remember the Nokia phone that had the snake game on it.
Yeah. I mean, what, did your parents have one of those?
Yeah.
Okay, Brother, I'm going to tell you, and this is what the great thing about me and Kevin, our relationship, our friendship, and really all the guys in this league. If you were to compare me to, let's say, a puppy or a dinosaur, most people would say I'm closer to the dinosaur side of things. But I've never been more excited when I went from a Motorola bag phone to a handheld Zach Morris brick phone. You remember that? Did you at least see one of those artifacts in the Smithsonian Museum when you went there and took a tour through it this summer, Kevin?
No, I did see though when people had the toolbox, the little toolbox that had a phone in it. I do remember that one.
Oh, guys, we just like to have fun here, but there's a lot of truth in what we're saying. Oh man. Oh, we're coming down now. We're about to have 8 laps to go, and it doesn't look like Jeff is ready to relinquish that lead at any point in time. This man is on a mission, but I will tell you this. Trevor Massetti has cut down 2/10 of that lead, and I want to show you a really cool perspective. We're going to go to Trevor Massetti's, and we put a camera on the front of his truck before the race. I don't even think he knows about it. His crew chief's probably going to be really pissed about this because I'm sure it's messing with the aero at some point in the way. Let's take a look from his splitter and watch the line, the way he goes different than Jeff Carson. See how much of a run he got on corner entry, and then Jeff kind of pulled away, but then during the center, they come back together, and oh man, man, did you see that? Wow. They ran completely different lines, and Jeff Carson had nowhere to go. Because Trevor, I think, had been setting him up for that for the last 3 laps. Was that not such a cool way to watch that pass take place live?
Absolutely. You can tell just from the way Trevor's driving it. He's kind of diamond cutting it a little bit more than Jeff is. Jeff's using a little bit more wheel. You know, obviously the viewers can't see it right now, but Jeff is definitely putting more wheel in it the way he is turning it, which the more wheel you put into it, the more tire wear you have. So,
Well, you
try
say
to
they
conserve
can't
that.
see it, Kevin. Let's watch it.
There you go. Yes. I
Look
forgot about that.
how much of that, and it gets the one truck buying. So let's take a lap around the track with Jeff Carson and watch that red stripe on the steering wheel and see how much that thing goes left. And then, Kevin, we'll watch it from Trevor Massetti's perspective and see. So tell us what's going on here.
Well, the red tape on the wheel is where it's supposed to be dead center on the wheel. So most of us drivers, we like to have what's called offset. So on an oval track, you know, you're turning left. You preferably could either have it in a negative, which is going to put it more left, or you could do like what I do, and I do it in the plus range, so it's going to put it more to the right. It's just more of a comfort thing. There's some people that drive with the dead center, but depending on the way you take it into the turn, the more wheel you use, the more you use up the tires.
Sure.
With this kind of track, you kind of want to arc it in there and diamond cut it, as I would say.
Look
because
how
you're
much
using much
wheel input he's putting into it, though. And let's go to Trevor Massetti. We're about to be finished with stage 2, but let's see how much wheel input he puts into it in the corners and kind of compare the two, Kevin.
He's got a little bit of negative offset on his, but you can just see the movement of the wheel already. He's way less movement into it than Carson is. I think Carson's probably running a plus offset like I do normally.
So
but
what does
Trevor's
that mean
definitely-
to the layman that is sitting here watching a race? What does that equal? I guess you could say. What is the result of that? So if one
I mean,
person
it's
is
just-
putting in a lot of
Like I
wheel
said, from the-
input
go with-
and the other isn't, what's the
Preference
end result?
Well, when you're already set like that, you're going to have a faster response when turning into the corners. If you do it the plus way that I do, you have to turn more of the wheel to get it, you know, to go into turn. But if you do it the right way, which everyone's got their own preference, you could save
Sure.
tires substantially. So I'm kind of curious as who what Sheffield's running on his. So next time we get
Wow.
a chance, I want to go.
Well,
go
that-
on his in-dash cam and see.
Absolutely, and we'll do that in stage 3. But Trevor Massetti started as the leader in stage 2, but he just took the green or white checkered flag to win stage 2. When Jeff Carson looked like he was going to be the one that dominated for a majority of that stage. But man, I'm telling you, this kid may be young in years, but he is old in intelligence. He is old in education. He really understands what it's like to look at the big picture, to look at the long game, because he just went out there and showed these guys, look, you want to get out there and get eager and go after it? Have at it. But I'm going to be there when it counts, and I'm going to take you and go take advantage of that situation. So congratulations to the 3 truck, now Chevy Silverado of Trevor Massetti, the California kid, making a clean sweep so far. And we're going to go sit here and watch these guys as they take their final pit stop, their final scheduled pit stop under caution. Excuse me. Good Lord, I am all kinds of tongue twisted tonight. And by the way, Kevin, do I sound a little better?
Well, you sound amazing, but you're having a little bit of a monkey in an astronaut helmet moment with your internet.
Well, I thought it was you, actually. I didn't know if it was you or me because we both sounded like, what do we call them, space ninjas? Or space turtle. So if you hear the voice all of a sudden go robotic, we call that a space turtle. The space ninja means you just blink out altogether. What you see Jeff Carson do from time to time, if your voices do that, that's what it is, just a bad internet connection. So if you guys are hearing that, I apologize. I didn't know if it's me or Kevin, but if it happens, it's there, and you'll watch Trevor Massetti get a hole shot out of the pits. Michael Sheffield coming in second, Jeff Carson third, and Chad Biesinger fourth, and running up top five, Brian Fine, the 98 Porter Cable. So let's see if we can't ring up the Cali Kid here real quick. Talk to our stage 2 winner. Hey, Trevor Massetti, Ryan and Kevin in the booth. You got a copy?
Absolutely, I do.
Well, it is absolutely encourageable to see a gentleman of your stature go out there and dominate and win. And were you just toying with Jeff Carson that second stage? Did you just let him get out there, take the lead a majority of the laps, and then just say, all right, excuse me, my time's coming?
I mean, sometimes you got to bluff and sometimes you got to go all in. So that might have been a bluff.
Ooh. See, Kevin, he's even throwing the poker references out there.
Yeah. Well, Trevor, it sounds like right now you're just trying to drive back to California as fast as you can. But, brother, I got to tell you, you can't go west and then go east. You just got to go straight west, buddy. 'Cause you're just like getting away from everybody here. But you're going west down one end of the track and then you're going east down the other. So, just a pointer of advice next time you get on the track, if you're trying to go back home, you just need to go west.
I'm actually headed straight to Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Up on west.
Okay.
Well, hey, Trevor, we want to congratulate you again on winning another stage. But do not make it all for nothing. Go out there and get you a win tonight and lock yourself in so you can join Michael Sheffield and Craig Burns and one other driver that's going to have to lock themselves in by points at the Final Four next week at ISM. So good luck. Congratulations, brother. And will we be talking to you at the end of this race in Victory Lane?
I mean, I hope so, but anything can happen, so we will see.
You aren't kidding. Well, brother, good luck. And hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the race.
Sounds good.
All right now. Kevin, I got to ask, how do I sound? Am I sounding glitchy, or do I sound like a robot out of the Jetsons, or am I good?
Sounds sexy as hell.
My wife's out of town, and I don't know if she's listening. Probably not. But she's out of town this weekend on a girls' trip for her work. Never heard of it, but she's done it for years. They're at Gulf Shores. Down by a couple of our drivers, actually, that live by Mobile, and enjoying their night up. So if you are listening, hello, honey. And the lights are off in the iRacing Chevy Silverado Pace Truck, and we're about to go back racing for the most important stage of the entire race. We have two of the drivers that are chosen to favor to win tonight, Trevor Massetti and the one of Michael Sheffield. That pace truck dips down to pit road, and we are off and underway for the final stage here at Homestead, Miami, in the Wallbangers Truck Series playoffs. Guys, this is for all the marbles, Kevin. 2 drivers locked in, 6 drivers trying to fight their way in, but only 2 spots left. Who is it going to be? Well, history would tell us Trevor Massetti is going to be one of those drivers because he's dominated tonight. If Jeff Carson wins, that's only going to spoil it for several others, and you'll have 2 drivers that'll have to get in by points because Jeff Carson has already got knocked out of the playoffs. So, man, who is it going to be? Does Trevor Massetti have enough left? Does he have enough strategy? Did he show his cards too early? Or does he have enough left in his hand to get it and complete it all the way through? Well, we'll find out here in about 70 or so laps when these guys finish up here at Homestead, Miami. This is going to be interesting, Kevin.
Yeah. Right now, I mean, just showing again. I think Trevor knows he's got a really good short run truck. It kind of equalizes in the long run. So that's why he's just trying to get as much of a distance away from Sheffield as he can. But I'm just telling you right now, Sheffield is the master of Homestead. He's sitting back here just smiling. He's like, you guys go ahead. You guys burn up your equipment. He said, because I'm going to catch right up to you guys before we make our first pit stop. So Sheffield definitely right now. I just think you're going to see him float back a little bit. He may get back 1.75 seconds, something like that. But he'll be right up there here in probably about 20, 30 laps.
You're right. It won't take him long to get up there, and he's super methodical. He's not going to show his cars early. He's not going to get out there and burn his stuff up. But what I will tell you is, we talked about this at the beginning of stage 2. Jeff Carson has nothing to lose, and he is all over that bumper. And in fact, let's go watch and see how different he drives, because he was all over the bumper of the 3 of Trevor Massetti.
He just got pretty loose too.
Oh,
but
yes, he did. And he lost a lot of ground. And you could see just what one tiny little mishap in a corner and how much ground and momentum you lose. But he is gaining a little bit of ground and getting closer to Trevor Massetti. And this is a dangerous situation for the 3 truck, Kevin. When you have a driver that is fast, has shown speed at the track you're at, but has nothing to lose, and him winning does nothing for anybody, that's a dangerous combination.
yes, I mean it just completely changes up the whole, point standings. It changes up everything.
Yep.
But if I'm Jeff Carson, I want to ruin this party as much as possible.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has less pressure than anybody out there, because he has nothing to worry about. If he finishes first or finishes 5th, it ain't going to make no difference to him. Just a little extra points. Maybe he finishes a position better at the end of the series, but he doesn't get a chance at the dance, and he is making up a lot of that ground. Well, you know what? This is as good a time as any, Kevin. Let's go through the field, starting with Trevor Massetti, the California kid. You guys have heard us week in and week out. One segment we love to do is we love to go through the field and tell you a little bit about each of these drivers, where they're from, and what they enjoy. This Trevor Massetti recently turned 18 years old from Madera, California. Parents are Brian and Christy Massetti, great, incredible people, and they actually their family runs a tractor pull, and you see in his picture there, that is Yellow Fever. That is a world-renowned tractor that has pulled in several series across the years. It's a generational tractor, and as you see, that is Trevor at a young age sitting in the seat there. This kid has more wisdom and maturity than most 40-year-olds that I know, which isn't saying much, because the people I know, it just blow you away. You see a lot of them probably on the episode of Cops, but this kid is wise, very, very intelligent, very smart when it comes to racing, and has an incredible family. So Brian and Christy and the entire family, and Jim, everybody out in California, know you guys are watching. 2 thumbs up for me and Kevin. And tell us about Jeff, Kevin.
Well, Jeff is from Glendale, Arizona. I say it week in and week out. He is one of my favorite people to race against, because the guy is so clean and respectful. He could have the fastest truck out there, but if he feels like he's going to get anyone's way, the guy will back off. I mean, he's that guy that he could be leading the race coming down to the final lap, and if something happens to his truck, he knows he could ruin the outcome of the race. He'll pull down to the bottom of the track and just let everyone else do their thing. That's just the type of person Jeff is. Love to have him as a substitute driver for front row racing every once in a while when I can, when I have a driver that's going to be on an off week. But just a really good guy. Love racing him. And right now, he's showing it right now. He's got a good truck.
That's right. And Jeff Carson, they're a great guy. Actually took the lead while we're going through the field here. We're going to flip back to 3rd position, and a guy that's been kind of quiet tonight, but slowly made his way to the front when it counted. That is Brian Fine from Owasso, Oklahoma. This is my neighbor. When I say neighbor, he lives 2 hours from me. My best friend's from Owasso, Oklahoma. Brian Fine, great dude, 30 years old. Been running in a lot of the leagues we run with. His counterpart, Justin Hendry, is actually at the Talladega race this weekend. He got to go to Talladega. So I don't know if Brian Fine wants to win because Justin isn't here, the 28 truck of Justin Hendry, his teammate, or if he wants to win in spite of it because he's not at Talladega. Well, Brian Fine has a very, very good possibility of locking himself into the Final Four, and he is showing tonight why he deserves to be there because he wasn't in the top 1, 2, or 3 in stages 1 and 2. But again, we talked about it all night. It doesn't matter when it comes to this final race. He knows that he needs to be there when it comes to the end of the race.
Then we got Chad B. Singer, probably one of the funniest guys I've ever raced against in the iRacing community. This guy could take anyone's bad day and make them cry. They're laughing so hard. He just great asset to have with the Evolution Racing Network. Run with him in a couple other series, and that's why I love calling this league on Saturday nights because people like him are in it that I get to race against. And it's really cool just sitting from the outside, watching them. But Chad is a hell of a guy from Clio, Michigan, 47 years old, but just a heck of a guy. And his son, Brendan, runs with us in the Medieval League, which has got a race tomorrow.
That's right. That's a.k.a. Faster B Singer is what we like to call Brendan. Okay, I'm going to get my butt kicked over that one. And by the way, before you get ridiculed from everybody in the Midwest, it's Clio, Michigan.
Oh, Clio, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And hell, I'm from Oklahoma. You're from Indiana. You should know that before I do.
Well, I ain't never been to Michigan, and I'm not a Michigan fan, so.
Oh, well, the field's kind of getting flip-flop here. Chad B. Singer has overtaken Brian Fine, and Brian Fine has fallen back to 5th, but right behind Chad is the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Sheffield, riding around in the one truck in that graffiti-inspired Sheffield Graphics paint. This guy has locked himself into the Final Four as well as Craig Burns, 45 years old from Emporia, Virginia. This guy right here, as you see him get underneath Chad B. Singer in the 23 there, he's probably going to be making the pass in the next half to a full lap, but he is the reason that Folds of Honor is so entangled with all of our leagues. He takes a portion of every single team logo he designs, every single paint that he designs for a client, every single job that he does, a portion of that goes to the great non-for-profit organization that does a ton of scholarships for the kids of fallen soldiers called Folds of Honor. And ironically enough, and no coincidence whatsoever, because none of this was brought about until later on, is based out of Owasso, Oklahoma. So Michael Sheffield, great guy, Navy guy, and it's the main reason that we put so much to our military, both current and those that have served in the past. He is the, what would you say, the track whisperer of Homestead. This guy knows Homestead. He spends a lot of time with his team from other leagues, Curtis Preston, GT Irizarry, Travis, Everett. These guys go out there and they will do hundreds and hundreds of laps, and then they study the numbers and they look at the telemetry and they figure out where is that fine balance, and that's what makes him such a good driver because he's super methodical. So that is Michael Sheffield in the one truck. And we're going to jump all the way back to 6th position for Kevin to cover the next guy because there's been a little bit of change up here between the middle of the pack.
Chris Claude out of Fairview, Tennessee. 49 years old, drives the number 10 Dasani Toyota pickup. Chris is a really good guy, a really good racer. I didn't know a whole lot about him coming into this league, but over the weeks of being able to call this with my sidekick, Ryan, we've been able to learn things about these drivers. And I can just tell you right now, Chris is a hell of a sim racer, really clean, does not cause any drama on the track whatsoever. He is, I would say, kind of like a Mark Martin, does not want to put any pressure on anybody where it could jeopardize both of them. But Chris is a really good guy, and Ryan, I'll let you tell the viewers, but I know you got a plug for a couple
Oh,
leagues that he
absolutely.
runs.
Chris has never asked me to do this, but it's just something I feel obligated to do. When people respect each other on the track and off the track and take care of one another, Chris has always been an advocate for Evolution Racing Leagues and all the series that we run, all 5 of them, and been a big supporter of that. I always want to make sure that we throw that back because that's just, what you should do. Chris Claude puts on a lot of time, and it looks like, I'm sorry, we need to take a look at this. I don't know if we're going to get a caution or not, but we're going to do a quick replay. We'll get back to that. Watching the 98 of Brian Fine here as we're talking good about it. He gets loose, locks him up, and makes a little contact with the inside wall. And we know that all of these leagues from time to time, if it's a single car spinner and there is no immediate danger to anybody, they will not throw the caution. So that could be a huge factor in the way that the point standings play out. Now, the good news is, based on what I'm seeing right now, Kevin, he is still on the lead lap. He's going to be at the tail end of it. He's probably going to have to go to pit road, get some damage repaired, but we'll have to come back to that and check in with Brian Fine later. Have to see if there's a caution that comes out and allows him to get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap. But as Kevin was saying, and we watch Chris Claude here in the 10 truck get a little bit into the wall, and I think this is the tires are starting to give out. The first and second stage were both 30 laps each. We're already 28 laps into this third stage. Those tires are starting to give way. And if you get too heavy into the corner, you're going to go in, you're going to tap the wall like we just saw the 10 truck. Chris Claude, this guy right here knows what it's like to run a league and have the pressure of running multiple series. He runs Sunday night NASCAR, Monday night NASCAR, and forgive me, I think it's Tuesday night or Thunder Trucks on Tuesday night or Tuesday night Thunder Trucks. Probably screwed that up 15 ways from Sunday, but he has a series that is Cup, Xfinity, and Trucks Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So give a plug for him. Great group of guys. They just trying to get out there and do what we do on a consistent week and have a great group of guys to get out there and respect one another and put on some great shows. So if you have any inquiries, you want to take a look at them, reach out to Chris Claude or Sunday Night NASCAR, as they are called on Facebook. So let's go one step back and take a look at the next driver. And, God, that is a sexy picture, Kevin. Still waiting on somebody to tell me what character it is. It's from Despicable Me, right? I am actually going to look that up right now, Kevin. So who do we have here?
You don't even know the exact answer.
I do, but, I did, and then my mind just completely went blank when I pulled that picture back up. So who do we have here? Tell us about Jerry.
Jerry is, I would say, if it's a close race between him and Chad Biesinger about the funniest guys in the league. Jerry is just flat out hilarious. Great guy. I think I enjoy more of just us, the camaraderie outside of the league, on poker nights and Rocket League nights. I think I enjoy that more with him just because he is just a great guy. He's just fun to be around. hard worker. You know, he busts his butt day in and day out doing his 9 to 5 job like all of us do. You know, but great sim racer, but a great friend, and that's pretty much all I can say for Jerry. You know, he's just hilarious, hard worker, good sim racer.
You know, he's a hell of a welder out of Tacoma, Washington. Works in a yard there that they do a lot of semi trucks, custom trailers. Just repainted a rig this week. Just a good all around jack of all trades type guy. Has been a great friend of the league for a very long time. But as you can tell by his picture, this sums up his personality 1,000%. But let's go. Now that we've gone through the field, I want to go take a look at Brian Fine, which is now being scored a lap down along with Jerry Culver. And see, it looks like he had to use his one and only fast repair. He had a little right side damage prior to that incident. And he's got to be careful right now, Cabot, because you see him get loose as he was coming through that corner. I think he's just trying to push it and get it as hard and fast as he can to get up to the rest of the pack. So that way he's fighting Jerry Culver. So, and he gets loose there, and you see him. He does an incredible job of collecting the truck there. But, man, I think he's just pushing it too hard. I think that incident got in his head a little bit, and he was trying to get out there, fight with Jerry Culver to get the lucky dog if and when a caution would come out. And you see him on the service road there coming back into the pits. He probably went in and got his damage repaired and did not take a set of tires. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. He's about a half a lap back from the rest of the field. So we'll come back and check with Brian Fine, the 98 truck there. But in the meantime, let's go check in on the leader, Trevor Massetti, that's got a 2.2 second lead over Jeff Carson in the 9 and Michael Sheffield in the 1 truck. And if we can, let's see. I don't even know if our screen will pick that up. But, yeah, you got a 2.2 second deficit back to Jeff Carson and a 3 second gap back to Michael Sheffield. And we're going to keep the camera on. It looks like we have green flag pit stops that are underway. Now, how many drivers are going to follow the leader in? We've got Jeff Carson, Michael Sheffield, Chad Biesinger. Kevin, the top 4 guys said, it's worth it. I'm going to go on the leader did. And in fact, Chris Claude said, I'll do the same thing. Is it a fuel only or is it fuel and tires? I think at a track like this, you got to do the full boat.
Yeah. Oh no, you're taking the 4 fresh tires to finish.
As you see,
They
Trevor,
can make it.
yep, Trevor Massetti does a great job. Has a 13.7 second stop. Jeff Carson with a 14.1 second. And Chad Biesinger and Michael Sheffield with matching 14.0 stops. So not only did Trevor Massetti have the lead coming into those stops, but he had a 3/10 better pit stop. Not to mention his time onto pit road and off of pit road. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. You see Jerry Culver is now coming out of pit road, completing his final pit stop. Now all of these drivers now have made their final pit stop. Their bet is made. They have to lay in it. And it's all about how this thing plays out. As you see the 13-inch Jerry Culver come back onto the track right in between the 2nd and 3rd place trucks of Jeff Carson and Michael Sheffield.
Trevor's got a fantastic lead.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
It is going to be hard to catch him. He is headed to Phoenix, is what he is saying right now. That
That's
is
all he's
that's
got
on
on
his
his
mind right
mind.
now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is no reason for him I'm sorry. Peter decided it wanted to do something funky there. There's no reason for these guys to have anything else on their mind at this point, stage 3, that I'm going to Phoenix. And I'm going to go there by ways of a win. And speaking of, let's go take a look, Kevin, at the future here, if you will. Homestead's tonight, right there. Next week, the championship 4 will be battling it out at ISM Speedway, the championship race at Phoenix. And then season 2 is right around the corner, man. Here in about a month and a half, we are going to be starting this whole thing all over again. And I ain't going to lie, Kevin, I got a little sneak peek of the schedule for next season. Night and day different than this season. It is going to be awesome. It's starting out with a track that, let me just say, NASCAR doesn't drive at anymore. There's your hint. And they're throwing all kinds of surprises in. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this league kind of builds up in the off season, because they'll be racing every week. It just won't be televised, and they'll be restructuring and getting everything ready for next season. And I've been privy to a little bit of the details, and it looks like it's going to be an incredible season 2 of Wallbangers Truck Series. But as Trevor Massetti in the 3 truck crosses the line there, we're down to 30 laps left here at Homestead, and he has got a commanding 10-second lead over Jeff Carson. And as we watch Michael Sheffield and Jeff Carson, they're battling it out, brother. They are right there neck and neck, right there at a 10-second mark with Trevor. So I don't know if Jeff Carson is struggling a little bit. They all went and took tires at the same time, but Jerry Culver is sitting there running by him like he's standing still. And Michael Sheffield is like, look, guys, I got less than 30 laps to get up there to the 3 truck and challenge him. But Michael Sheffield, there's no reason for him to get up there and have to do this. It's not all or nothing for him. He's already locked in, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean Sheffield has nothing to lose. And you're going to see he's going to slowly trickle down to this time from Trevor. But man, 10 seconds is really hard to make up, especially when you got less than 28 laps to go. It's just going to be a challenge. You know, he's really going to have to bank on a caution, which at this point I don't see a caution, just especially with how small this field is. But you know, strong truck tonight for Sheffield, and you know, if it was 5-second lead, it'd be a completely different ballgame. I'd say he's going. I would call him the closer, just like they call Kevin Harvick.
That's right.
He could close it out, but just 9 seconds, man. That's it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard, but I don't think he's really concerned about it, honestly. I think he is just out there learning as much as he possibly can about each and every one of these drivers. What is their techniques? How are their styles? What do they do early in a run, middle of the run, late in a run, so that they can go out there when it counts at ISM? Because ISM it's kind of a hybrid. It's not really a true short track. It's not an intermediate track. It's not a high bank track. It's kind of a little mixture of all of them. So drives like a short track. It has the flatness of almost Martinsville, but it's got the speed of an intermediate. So Phoenix is going to be really interesting. And then just throw the dog leg in it while you're at it. Have this big, huge cutoff that drivers are allowed to drive on, where it disrupts the balance of the truck so much. So next week is definitely going to be a barn burner. It doesn't matter if it's just those 4 drivers that are locked in. It's going to be a hell of a race to watch. So you need to make sure that you come back next week at 9:50 Eastern, right here on Facebook and YouTube at Evolution Racing Networks, so we can conclude the final season, or excuse me, the final race of season 1 here at Wallbangers Truck Series Playoff. And Kevin, if you would, I'm going to turn the show over to you. I'm going to see it here and see if I can get somebody on the horn and get us ready for the end of this race as we come to the line with 23 to go, and I'll be right back with you, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Trevor Mercetti out to a commanding lead, as we were talking about. Second place, Michael Sheffield. He has trickled it down to 8.924 last time they crossed the stripe. As I said earlier, Sheffield, man, he's got a really good long run truck. Just don't know if he's going to have enough time. And sitting behind him is Chad Biesinger. Chad Biesinger is about 2.5 seconds away from him. He's got Jerry Culver right behind him right now. But Trevor Mercetti, man, I don't know what else I can say about that kid right now. He's just got a lot of good momentum right now. Kind of like Chase Elliott, last season when Chase Elliott won that race at Martinsville, just built up so much momentum going into Phoenix. I definitely think this is going to be really good for him going into Phoenix. But Sheffield, he's got a good momentum as well right now as we're coming down to 22 laps to go. But Sheffield's got really good momentum too. I think going into Phoenix right now, as it would sit, it's going to be Craig Burns, Michael Sheffield, Trevor Mercetti, and Chad Biesinger. That is going to be a really good group of drivers. And I think I really can't pick just one and tell you who I think would win the championship, out of the four. I mean, that's how good all four of those drivers are. Craig's got really good speed. Trevor's got really good short run speed for the most part. I mean, tonight he's showing me different, but for the most part, Trevor's pretty good at, short run speed. Sheffield's got the long run, and that's where it's going to benefit him if it goes out green completely, going to at the Phoenix race. And Chad Biesinger, it's just, if he can cross his T's and dot his I's, I truly believe that Chad Biesinger could easily win this championship just as much as these other three drivers could. So, with all this momentum going, though, into Phoenix, I think the two right now is going to be Trevor Mercetti and Michael Sheffield if the finish is out the way it is right now.
Well, you're probably right, Kevin. These guys are so close in their talent level. Their equipment is right on. It's spot on as far as their setups. This is an open setup league, so these guys can literally come to the track with whatever setup they please as long as it passes inspection. And the biggest thing that they look at on inspection is ride height. So is it too low? Is it too high? So these guys can push the limits all they want. And between those four drivers, Trevor Mercetti, Michael Sheffield, Chad Biesinger, and then Craig Burns that isn't here tonight. Whew. I can only imagine what this thing is going to turn out next week at ISM, because it's not like these long speedways. It's going to be much more technical. Tire wear at ISM is just as important as it is here at Homestead. But these guys are going to have a long race. They're going to have a lot of laps, longer stages, and it is going to be determined by whoever has the best game plan going into it.
Yeah, and it's like I was telling the viewers, I can't pick a driver out of the four.
I can't. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
It's that good of competition, and that's what's great about this league. Is it's not one-sided. That's the truth out of it. But it's like I was telling him, Chad Biesinger looks like he's going to get in on points, and he could very easily win this championship just as much as the other three drivers.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, Trevor Mercetti has shown tonight that the California kid is no joke. It's not a one-off deal. This guy has been so consistent week after week. He's been up front. He's had a few incidents throughout the season that he's gotten caught up in. But if you look at his stats for the season, God, he has been right up front, always contending for a win. You know, we have one driver tonight that it's unfortunate that we don't get to see here. And we want to give a shout out to the 18 of Steve Kerpel and the SSC Transport truck. You know, Steve was one of the league admins and league owners, along with Jerry Culver and Craig Burns, kind of this is his baby, putting the Wallbangers Truck Series together. And I hate that he's not here, you know, but life happens, and that, you know, not everybody can make it to every single event. And he was one of the 6 guys that was trying to fight his way into the playoffs. But he sent me a message before the race and said, you know, I hope the right guy that put the most effort in wins this thing tonight, regardless of where they're at in the points. And I think you're seeing it right now. You know, it's his thoughts kind of carry over. You have the top 3 guys are locked into the playoffs. They're one of the top 8. One of those guys is already locked into the big show. And the other 2 are probably going to be locked in by points, Kevin, as we come to the line with 13 to go.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely put in the most practice, you can tell. But, you know, it's like I said earlier to the viewers, this is a Chase Elliott championship winning momentum moment right now for Trevor Massetti. Dominating this race before going to the championship race. You know, that carries so much momentum over. And I'm a huge Chase Elliott fan. And, you know, when I saw that last season when he won that Martinsville race, I kept telling my friends and family, I said, he's going to win this championship just because of how much momentum he's got carrying with him in the playoffs, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And Trevor has been around, you know, top 3 finisher every single race in the playoffs, it seems.
Yep. Well, and I'll tell you this much, too. You know, as he comes up on lap traffic here, he's very methodical in the way he looks at things. He's very much like Michael Sheffield, and that's why those 2 guys probably get along so well, is they're very analytical at the way they look at a truck, and they don't look at it as just a 30-lap race like you would in an official. They look at it as a big picture. Okay, I got 134 laps. You know, here's how long. If I run this line, my tires will last. And so that is how you become the difference of winning or finishing mid-pack or at tail end or becoming lap traffic. You know, it's all in preparation in the way these guys do this. I think Chad Biesinger has probably been the most consistent throughout the entire season. You haven't seen him up front winning races and contending for the win each and every week, but you didn't see that with Mark Martin. But guess what? At the end of the season, what did you see? Mark Martin always in the talk. So that's why we compare him to that guy. Jeff Carson, I'll tell you, he's probably the most improved driver from race 1 to now. This guy, you know, came in at the beginning of the season and would run mid-back, you know, have a couple little bursts of moments that you would see him do really well. But a majority of the time, you would see him running that mid-pack. And here in the last few weeks, we've been talking more about Jeff Carson in the last few weeks since he got knocked out of the playoffs than we have all season. It's because this guy's up here contending with the leaders week in and week out. So it's going to be really, 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 really fun to watch these guys go battle it out. As we come to the line, we're inside 10 to go here at Homestead. And I want to talk about a couple of the sponsors here real quick, Kevin. You know, first and foremost, one of the sponsors that covers all 5 series of Evolution Racing Leagues and is one of the OG sponsors that has been with us from the get-go is Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing, is the absolute dominant company when it comes to LFE setups for your sim racing experience. These guys are light years above everybody else that's trying to do it, and they create all the sensation that you would get in sim racing that you can't that you would get from a real car in sim racing. So, butt kicker, feel what you've been missing. S&C Transport LLC, your Northeast #1 logistics company. You need something hauled, you call these guys. They'll get it taken care of, and they'll get it taken care of fast. Or Nissan Central, Oklahoma's #1 Nissan dealership. If you need a newer pre-owned vehicle, go to ornissancentral.com or call the store at 405-631-7771 and ask for Taz, and he'll get you taken care of. Sheffield Graphics. If you need an iRacing livery or you need a team logo or any digital graphics that you could dream of, this is the company that you need to have take care of you. They have a portion of every job they do goes to a non-for-profit organization that takes care of the family of the kids, gives millions of scholarships away every year to the kids of fallen soldiers, and that organization is known as Folds of Honor, and that's why Sheffield Graphics will always have our endorsement. That's our great sponsors here at Evolution Racing Network and Wallbangers Truck Series Racing. But enough about the jibber jabber of me and everything else, because guess what, Kevin? We're about to cross the line with 3 to go, and I don't think anybody, Elon Musk could come down here with a Tesla Cybertruck and try to drive over everybody. Ain't nobody got nothing for Trevor Massetti, the California kid.
Yeah, the Cali kid, man, he's showing it tonight. He's got a really strong truck, and he's going to come down here on the front stretch. We're come down to 3 to go, and he's maintained that 10-second lead pretty well.
Yes, he has. And, you know, as he crosses the line this time, it will be 2 to go. And this is what he wanted tonight. I think he left all the tools in the toolbox remaining in the season for this race, because he knew if I'm going to have to win one, I need to do it right before. Because what's that one word you talk about that's so important?
Momentum.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Momentum. This guy is going to have all the momentum carrying forward.
Yeah, definitely for sure. He's going to have the momentum for sure, as he's going to take it down the front stretch or down the back stretch. 2 to go, and he's looking great.
Oh, I am just sitting here on pins and needles. You know, he's got a 10-second gap, and then Michael Sheffield has an 8-second gap on the next guy, Chad Biesinger, and then Chad Biesinger's got a 12-second gap on Jeff Carson. So we are at the Sheffield Graphics white flag at the final race before the championship race, Kevin. And the California kid, Brian and Christy Massetti, got to be proud. I mean, got to be proud as they watch Trevor Massetti in the 3 truck come out of 4 down that long straightaway to win Miami. Woo! Homestead has never seen a California kid like this come in and dominate oh so well as Trevor Massetti just did right here for the Wallbangers Truck Series playoffs and win the final race to lock himself in along with Michael Sheffield in the 1 truck, the 2 truck of Craig Burns, and more than likely unconfirmed the 23 of Chad Biesinger to go to the final seat at the table, the championship race. Kevin, break this down for us, brother.
Well, you know, Trevor, fantastic race tonight. I hope he burns that thing down. As you see him right there, he's going to do some nasty burnouts. But Trevor has got the most momentum going into the championship race. Craig Burns dominated that race that he won a couple weeks back, but being a week off, that kills momentum, man. It just truly does. And I love Craig, and I'm glad to call him my teammate in other leagues, but he's got a lot of momentum. He's going to need to catch up with this Cali kid because I'm telling you right now, going to championship race, he has the most momentum right now in Trevor Massetti.
You're absolutely right. And our final finishing order, as you see on the screen there, is Trevor Massetti in the 3 truck, burning that baby down. And he said, you know what? The shop told me I'm going to get a brand new motor for for ISM here at Phoenix. So I'm just going to blow this puppy up. And that's exactly what he just did, doing his burnouts. And Michael Sheffield in the 1 truck finishing second. Chad Biesinger in the 23 BSR Toyota Tundra finishing third. Jeff Carson in the 9 truck finishing fourth. Chris Claude rounding out the top 5 in the 10 truck. The 13 of Jerry Culver making a very respectable finish in the 6th position. And 7th, Brian Fine in the 98 Porter Cable truck. So I tell you what, you know what time it is. Let's get these boys and girls in here and let's talk to the top 3 here. And I'll tell you what, Kevin, you talk to Chad and Michael, and I'll round this thing out and talk to our winner tonight. So let me see if I can get our 3rd place finisher, Chad Biesinger, on their horn here. Chad Biesinger, Ryan and Kevin in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you.
Chad, well, unofficially, you're in. How do you feel?
Relieved, I guess. Man, I mean, I felt bad for Trevor being so slow out there. I just thought I'd let him go.
Well, how did the truck feel tonight? Because you were up there, you were very competitive. Up to that 3rd stage where I think once everybody did their pit stops, it just completely changed. But you had a good truck tonight. So tell us how did it feel?
Oh, I kept loosening it up every stop. It would just get tight so quick. Uh, yeah, I mean, it was okay. With moving all week and just getting my rig set up yesterday, didn't have a ton of time into practice and whatnot. So I'm pretty happy with where I was at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, good momentum, going into Phoenix. How do you feel about Phoenix next week? Knowing that you're in the championship 4 and that you have a chance to, win the championship. How do you feel about that? And what's your game plan for next week?
I'll start working on setup now. Practice, lots of practice. Uh, that's about it.
You know, people don't understand it with us sim racers, but practice is everything. It can make or break your momentum, because when you go into the race, if you've done enough practice, what your truck's going to do and how comfortable you are with it. So I completely understand that. But Chad, good top 3 finish tonight, brother. Glad that you have made it to the Final 4, and look forward to seeing you next week. And let's hope that you may get that championship.
Oh, hey, Chad.
Yes, sir.
It's Ryan. I just got confirmation from the league administration, and congratulations. You have just made your way to the Final 4, and you will be in the top 4 in the championship race at ISM next week. So congratulations. And how does that feel?
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just got confirmation of that, and I think nobody wanted to go to bed tonight without knowing who's the Final 4. So we had talked about it. Me and Kevin had been doing the math all night, and that is absolutely incredible that you ran a great race. You deserve to be there next week at ISM. So great job. Congratulations. And before we let you go, you have anybody you want to give any shout outs to all season for supporting you? Any I love yous, any thank yous?
Yeah, my family for putting up with me, me hiding away, doing this all the time. teammates Jeff and Chris, and you guys for the broadcast.
All right, great job. Well, Chad, thank you. Go celebrate tonight. I know a third place finishing may not feel like something to congratulate and go celebrate with, but it is when you couple that with locking yourself into the Final Four for a championship race next week. So, great job, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, brother. Have a great week. All right, that was Chad Piesinger, and that is awesome, Kevin, that we are on air with him when we get word that he locked himself in as being the Final Four driver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great feeling, because when you finish a race and they always say unofficial, there's always that slight chance that something may change. So getting the confirmation, being able to focus on the championship race, absolutely.
All right, well, we're going to bring Mr. Methodical in right now, and I'll let you do an interview with him. Let me see if I can get him on the horn. Michael Sheffield, Ryan and Kevin in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do.
First off, why didn't you say absolutely?
Because I wanted to catch you off guard.
Well, you certainly did.
You certainly did. Chef, good race tonight, buddy. You didn't have anything really to lose because you were automatically in, but this is a good momentum going towards Phoenix. But tell us about tonight. How was that truck?
Truck was great. Long run, couldn't complain at all. I mean, and then I could push it more and more and more and more. So, overall, it was a good run for the night. Like I told you last week, it's all about the team tonight. You know how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to take care of your teammates in the situations where they need to. But going into next week, you know that you're automatically in the championship four. So first off, congratulations on that. You've had a heck of a season, got some good wins. But going into Phoenix, how do you feel about Phoenix, and what's your plan to try to win this championship?
Uh, I feel pretty confident about Phoenix. But I know it's gonna be tough competition. It's gonna be practice, 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 and we put a lot of laps in this week. Trevor put his nose to the grindstone really hard this week. Put in a lot of laps this week. So it's just gonna be prepared, and we're going in just like we normally do, and then when it gets to a point in the race. I know we'll race each other hard, but we'll race each other hard and clean, and then and that includes Chad. I mean, it's gonna be entertaining, and it's gonna be interesting, and all in all, no matter who wins next week, we all win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has been a fantastic showing of the playoffs. You guys all have so much respect. This is just a class league. Every single driver on this list, there is not one that I could, put a blemish on. You guys are all just really good drivers. So, congratulations. Very happy to see you in the championship four, and I hope to see you dominate next week. But before I lift you off the horn, anybody you want to give a shout out to? Anybody you want to thank for the season? Any I love yous?
Well, I want to thank y'all first and foremost in the booth. Y'all are absolutely doing an amazing job. I had to sneak it in there. Gotta thank all my teammates. Trevor, Craig, Jerry, Steve Baldwin wasn't here tonight, and then Steve couldn't make it tonight either. So it's been a great season with that group. It's been a great season in this league. A lot of drivers in here. I got the utmost respect for every single one of them. So it's this race I look forward to every single week, no matter if it's going to be a tough track for me or not. It's always fun, and everybody seems to try to help each other out here, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. But Sheffield, as always, I enjoy racing with you on the track, in the other league, stuff like that. I think you're a hell of a driver, and really excited for you going into next week. So get your practice in. Let's see you kick ass next week.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night.
You too,
All
buddy.
right, brother. Well, Let's see if we can't bring up the Cali Kid himself and see what he has to say. Trevor Massetti, Ryan and Kevin in the booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Well. Let's see. We talked to him at the beginning of stage or before stage one because he won the poll, right, Kevin? Yeah. There was that interview. Talked to him at stage one because he won that one. And then there was, what was that? Oh, yeah, stage two. You won that one. And then here we are, as I had a premonition about winning the whole enchilada and winning the race. So, congratulations on securing yourself into the Final Four, brother. Could not be more excited for you. It'll be you, Craig Burns, Michael Sheffield, and who do you think the fourth one is?
Gotta be Chad Biesinger.
Yeah, that's right. Chad Biesinger will be rounding out the top four to make the championship race at ISM. So tell me about tonight, man. We talked to you all night long. You made it look easy, but congratulations, first and foremost. And second of all, how'd you do it, brother?
Honestly, it was a lot of practice and some luck, I guess. But that was a fun race for sure.
Did you learn anything tonight that you can carry forward to next week at ISM at this hybrid track, this short track, not long track, not an intermediate, not a high bank, but I mean, it's such a unique track. Did you get anything that you can put in your memory bank tonight that you can use next week against these other three guys to go win you a championship?
Yeah, I think I got a couple things. You know, slow is fast is one of them because this track is very deceiving, and you think that you can just kind of go all out and be fast and be able to maintain that, but it's just so abrasive on the track surface, and it's you find out that it's just better to take your time and kind of run it slow, and eventually you'll just start seeing people go by left and right, and um, it's slow is fast. That's a big thing for sure.
Yeah. Well, man, me and Kevin sat there and watched you. You dominated the race. You played with Jeff Carson a little bit, let him get a false sense of security that he was doing well, and then you're like, "No, I got that. I'm going to take that back from you." You did great tonight. We are super stoked about the Final Four next week, and I'm not going to tell you. But I've got a favorite that I think is going to go dominate next week. But I saw that your parents, your dad, Brian, and Christy, were watching tonight. They were engaging with us. They were rooting you on. You absolutely killed it. And we are proud to call you friends. More importantly, though, we're proud to call you a part of the Final Four, brother. So before we let you go, is there anybody you want to say shout out to? I love you. I thank you. Any sponsors, any family, friends?
Gotta say hi to mom and dad. Thank you guys for watching. Grammy and Nono, Nana and Grandpa, Auntie Karen and Uncle Craig. Um, it's pretty awesome being able to do this every weekend and have them watch. And that's thanks to you guys, Kevin and Ryan, for broadcasting. You guys put on a hell of a show, and it's fun to go back and watch everything that I did wrong in the races. And um, I gotta thank Sheffield, my teammate. I mean, I would not have won that race if it wasn't for him, and all the stuff that he taught me this week, and um, all the other admins that put on these 5 leagues that we get to be a part of. It's it's pretty fun being able to just do this every weekend, and wouldn't wouldn't want to do anything else. So yeah.
Well, you got a big crew rooting for you, and by good measure, I think your support team knows who the winning factor is. So I want to be the first to congratulate you to the Final Four. Great job tonight securing your win, And we look forward to see what you and your team do next week at Phoenix. So until then, go enjoy yourself, celebrate with the team. Tell the family we said hello, and we look forward to seeing the whole thing play out next week in Phoenix.
All right, will do. Thanks, guys.
All right, brother. Well, Kevin, that's it for Homestead, man. Any final thoughts?
A lot of momentum tonight that's going to be carried over to Phoenix. And it's hard to beat when you roll the dice and you got snake eyes. It's hard to beat it.
Boy, you ain't lying. Well, from all of us here at Evolution Racing Leagues and Evolution Racing Network and Wallbangers Truck Series, we want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in on Facebook and YouTube each and every week to watch all of these guys that put hours and hours preparation into getting ready for these races on Saturday nights. It's all coming to a head with one final race right here at Evolution Racing Network at 9:50 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and YouTube. And we will be at Phoenix next week, where 4 drivers will go in and only one driver will come out, crown the champion. So thank you guys. We appreciate everything you do to support us. But until then, have an incredible week, and we'll talk to you soon.